Stay tuned for Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas, a leading financial retirement strategist and the founder of Soutas Financial and Insurance Solutions, right here in Fresno. Every week, Dale discusses pressing financial topics of the week, ranging from reliable income strategies to our financial markets, including Social Security, tax strategies, wealth management, RMDs, legacy planning, long-term care solutions, and most importantly, how to make sure you have enough guaranteed lifetime income to retire your way with choice and dignity. From taxes to trends to total transparency, Dale covers it all. And now, here is Retire Your Way and Dale Soutas. This is Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial right here in California. We got a great show today. Mr. Dale Soutas, I know that you have been busy in the offices. So has Katya and Jorge and the entire team. We are very excited to have you here. This is your opening bell. What's going on with you this week, Dale?
Oh, lots of things. Just keeping busy. I don't know what else to say. Just seeing lots of people.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Picking on my staff. I mean, taking care of my staff.
Of course.
Clients.
Of course. We're going to talk about do you need to be debt-free as you go into retirement? But we had some folks coming in. We thought we'd start off right away with real people, real events, real questions. It was so perfect, but almost perfect in a terrible way. Do you remember the estate planning a couple that came in? So it was mostly
Yes.
the woman. So it was a husband and wife. They came to one of your live events a couple of weeks ago. They came into the offices. And the woman was really concerned about the estate planning. And I said, well, tell us, what's going on. And their mother was getting older. They knew there were going to be some costs. I talk a little bit about my grandmothers and long-term care. And so people are really identifying with that. And she said, well, what I've heard is that, I can lose the house, or mother is going to lose the house if she goes into long-term care.
Right.
And that's all she said.
Right.
Like, mom's going to lose the house if she goes into long-term care. Then there was, how do we protect the house, all that and more. First of all, Dale, state of California. Do you lose the house if you go into long-term care?
That's a common question. People have heard the horror stories. Oh, you want to avoid getting on that long-term care or the Medi-Cal program because the state's going to come back and take your home. That's referred to as a state recovery. And so basically, no, the state's not going to take your home if you know what to do. Many years ago, we had to get fancy with a husband and wife. Let's say husband's in a nursing home, and the wife and he owns the home to protect from estate recovery. Because the way it works in California, yes, every penny that Medi-Cal, the state, pays for someone who's 55 years old or older, it's like a loan. And they have the right after, in this example of a married couple, after both of them pass away, they have the right to ask all of that money back from what assets were in that person's name who they lent the money, so to speak, to. Okay. It used to be we had to take the house out of joint ownership, put it into the well spouse's name and a new trust in that well spouse's name. It's much easier now. The estate recovery rules in California changed back in 2017. So the state of California can only come after assets that go through probate. So a living trust, as many know, will protect the house from going to probate. It'll go directly to whoever you list as your beneficiaries, say the kids or whoever. So if that's the case...
Wait a minute. That is, I want to say brilliant really quick. I want to make sure that everybody out there is hearing it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Just by setting up a trust, did I hear that clearly? Just by setting up a trust, putting a home in the trust, and you didn't say an irrevocable trust. You said just by putting the home in a trust. By having the assets avoid going through probate, that is how we don't have to pay for the long-term care coverage through the state, the recovery program?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how you protect the home from the state asking it back. So in that example, a husband, wife, he's on Medi-Cal in a nursing home for years, and it could amount to a lot of money. And let's say the wife doesn't ever get on Medi-Cal. It used to be that, yes, they can ask all of that back that they spent on him from his half of the home. Yet now with the new rules, if the house does not go through probate, in other words, it's set up in a regular living trust, then it's protected from recovery. Now, often we get people who think, well, we got to title the house. In fact, that couple, she was saying, well, I think mom's wanting to put the house in my name.
Yes.
So if she needs help
Yes.
to protect it from the state asking, money back out of the house or taking the house.
Yeah.
They never take the house. They just say, hey, this is the money we want. And if you don't have the money, it used to be that, yes, you'd have to, sell or mortgage the house or whatever you did. But not anymore. It's so easy to protect from estate recovery now in California. The rest of the country I can't speak for on that side, but California, it's very easy to protect the estate. Now, if you were to title the house, let's say mom did change title to the daughter, and we've seen that happen. We've seen them put it in let's say in this case, the daughter's name. It's much like putting it into an irrevocable trust. The problem with that method, those two methods, is you've given the family, or in this case, the daughter, your basis. And you bought the house many years ago for $50,000, and let's have fun. It's worth $550,000 when you die. So the daughter, oh, it's my house, so great. But the mom and the daughter know that she's supposed to share it with her siblings.
There were two siblings.
So,
two siblings.
Let's say two siblings. Okay. So now the daughter, doesn't want to live there. They don't want to rent it out. They go and sell it. The daughter, because mom gave her the house, she has the basis of $50,000. She sells it, and she has to pay capital gains on the $500,000, not the other siblings, right? So it creates a tax problem. And then she has to then gift, the rest of the money to her, split it up.
Yeah.
Which is not a problem, but it's a mess. With the irrevocable trust, it also locks in your basis, so you lose the stepped-up basis. So by putting your house in a regular living trust, under current tax laws, it gets a stepped-up basis. It avoids estate recovery in California. It goes to the kids. You name all of them, not just one of them. Unless you want to, give it to me and not to the others, right?
Oh, stop.
But anyway,
Stop.
But the point being, you name your beneficiaries through the trust. It's a fancy will for all practical purposes.
If just so many mistakes, and all of it motivated by trying to be well-meaning, but when the family doesn't know how to take care of the steps of the estate planning, you make huge mistakes. By the one daughter who was closer to the mom, titling onto the home, boom. Sure, you can get the step up in basis. Congratulations, that's great. But she was talking about selling the house then later on and then splitting the proceeds with the other two siblings. I'm like, you're going to be responsible for all of those taxes. Now, you were just saying, though, exactly. I guess you could gift it if you wanted to every year, but maybe the siblings want that money right away.
Well, it just creates a big old mess. I mean, why do things like that?
Because people think it's actually simpler. They think that, like, oh, well, it's our stuff. Well, they think it's our stuff. So, if mom wants me to have it, she's just going to give it to me. What's the big deal? Taxes are the big deal. The big deal.
Doing things correctly keeps the state from recovering against it if your loved one had to use Medi-Cal. With the planning for the brother-sister types. Yes, some of you out there, you have moms and dads, you have spouses that may need our expertise, how to get on that Medi-Cal program to protect your life savings from being, spent down. That's fine, but the income planning we do for what I call my brothers and sisters, we don't look at using Medi-Cal down the road. Who knows what the rules will be down the road. We build a care check into your income plan. In other words, you have, when you retire, you still have the need to have steady income to pay the bills. You also should have interest in doing fun things, spoiling your spouse. And, we call that the play check. And when the play stops, we have a system we build in to where you have a care check. In other words, your income either grows to the point where it's more than enough to keep you out of a nursing home, or we have something where you can turn on extra income if and when you need it without the long-term care insurance and jumping through hoops to prove that you need help. It can be an income stream that you can turn on by yourself very easily to keep yourselves out of a nursing home. We call that the care check. So for people who need help now, yes, Katya knows all the ins and outs, the rules. Our team here has helped literally thousands get on either the Medi-Cal program or know how to use the VA program to not, spend all your assets down to nothing. Get help, preferably at home too. So a living trust can be helpful for no probate, no estate recovery, and a step up in taxes so you don't create a tax problem for the kids.
If you want to find out what decisions you need to make, what tools you need to have in place, what beneficiaries, what designations you need to create before an event happens, a life-changing event happens, to make sure that you don't owe a lot in taxes simply from what you didn't know about estate planning, call the phone number. We'll have this conversation with you. The decisions you're making for your family, I'm sure you're trying to do in everyone's best interest, but you might not realize the shortcuts you're taking are going to cost you possibly tens of thousands in taxes. Before you make an estate planning mistake, call the phone number, set up your time with Dale Soutas, financial advisor right here in California. It is no cost to you. It is no obligation. In fact, speaking with an estate planning attorney, there's probably a cost just to have that initial hour-long consultation, not with Dale Soutas. You can come right in. 833-856-1382 is the phone number for you to call to set up your time with Dale Soutas. More Retire Your Way right after this.
Are you worried about taxes eating into your retirement savings? By engaging in savvy tax planning, you might be able to create greater tax efficiency in your retirement plan. At Soutas Financial, our team of retirement planning specialists can help you explore tax-deferred and tax-free investment options, as well as strategies to help potentially minimize your tax burden in retirement. Don't let taxes derail your retirement plans. Let us help you create a tax-efficient financial plan and work towards maximizing your savings and minimizing your taxes. Call Dale Soutas of Retire Your Way and the team at Soutas Financial today to learn more about our tax planning solutions. Call 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Will I run out of money in retirement? That's a hard question to answer if you've never been retired. How do you grow your investments without taking too much risk but also considering what you'll pay in taxes? Should you convert your tax-deferred accounts into Roth accounts for tax-free growth later? Don't forget about inflation. Instead of questions about your retirement, turn to answers and solutions from Dale Soutas and Soutas Financial. Call and ask for your own complimentary retirement solution review. 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382 for your complimentary retirement solution review.
This is Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial. So many mistakes are made in estate planning. And why, as a financial advisor, does Dale Soutas talk about estate planning so much? Because it does have to do with your dollars. It does have to do with your taxation. And nobody likes to find out about these mistakes after they've been made, because that's then when the taxes are due. So do you just put your things into a will, which then have to go through probate? Do you need a trust? How complex is your situation? Oh boy, I'm going to add another layer to you. How about folks who have maybe gone on to a second family dynamic? I mean, a lot of marriages end in divorce, and hopefully we find love again later. You talk to folks a lot of times who have not just had one of them, but both of them have been through marriages. So now we're kind of 4 different family dynamics of planning we've got to protect with.
Yeah, we've got blended families out there.
Oh, there's ways, blended families.
Yeah, and it's interesting, like we were talking earlier, the knowing what to do. I mean, getting advice on structuring things. And, we're not an attorney by any stretch, yet I've had some of our attorneys, frankly, say, what do you want us to do with this family? What is your goal? So we've developed a little checklist to help our families know when how to be prepared. Go prepared to see the attorney. Don't go there and just, I'm thinking about this and I'm thinking about that. No.
I like the accent that you added to it, Dale.
Yeah. So, my point is, when you sit down with the attorney, they're going to click, 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 click. The timer, the money, the dollars are, going. With us, it doesn't cost anything. We need to get into your head anyway about how you want your retirement to be, and so the coaching on how to set up your estate plan, if you've not set it up, or even maybe it needs to be tweaked. We have a system to coach you so you know how to be prepared. For instance, what assets need to be put into a trust. Sometimes the attorneys mistakenly will say, yeah, you want to put all your assets in a trust, not recognizing or realizing that some of your accounts are tax deferred, like an IRA, 401k, TSP, 403b. You cannot move those into your trust, because if you did, it would make them all taxable immediately. And you don't want to name the trust as beneficiary on those tax deferred assets, because under current tax rules, if those assets go into your trust when you die, they can be taxed at the 37%, whatever the highest marginal rate is. So there's coaching. Who are your beneficiaries? Sometimes people think, I'm going to have the oldest inherit and they'll split with everybody. Yeah, that's complicating and making things more difficult and such. What if the oldest doesn't want to share? That could be a problem. What if some of the assets that they inherit, let's say they inherit your retirement account, you've rolled your 401ks, whatever, into an IRA, and you name your oldest child and they will split it with the kids. Well, that's a perfect example of creating a big tax problem for that oldest child. But getting ready to set up a new trust, or maybe how to modify, or if you need to update your existing estate plan or trust, we coach you so you know what to do when you sit down with the attorney.
Here's one people might not think about is if you've gone through a divorce, maybe think about what probably 50-50 chances that maybe one of your children could go through a divorce. Can you protect the assets to stay with your child, your children, in case they go through a divorce? Or, once they're married, are assets, always, of both people? If your children go through a divorce, can you protect, or is everything fair game?
Interesting. So, in other words, you're asking, let's say you've got a son and his share of the assets, if you die, or, let's say you got 4 kids, so he's going to get 25% in this example. Yep. And he's married. And down the road, he gets a divorce before you die. Well, the trust, how do we put it? It's more of a linear type benefit to the kids. So what do I mean by that? If you have children and you split it up between, let's say in this case, your 4 children, whether he's married or divorced doesn't matter. It's his inheritance. And let's say he inherits this chunk of money, whatever it is, and he keeps it separate as his own assets, and later gets divorced under, current law here, from what I understand, it's not a asset that can be shared with the ex. The ex cannot get half of that asset. It's a separate asset. It's an inheritance. Now, if he uses that asset that he inherited to pay, maybe he borrows against it, or he uses it or puts it in a joint account, he's now made it community property. So, but if he divorces before mom and dad die, he's still the beneficiary. The trust doesn't say, hey, I'm going to send it to my kid and their the in-law. So it goes to your children. There's protection that way too. But the other part of a blended family, and I've had this happen many times recently. I had a couple come in. He has assets, she has assets, he has kids, she has kids, and they really want their assets to go only to their kids. There's some things in common that they can list as, going out to all the kids, but his property, her property, his retirement savings, her retirement savings are kept separate. So in some cases, maybe he needs his own trust and she needs her own trust to keep the real estate going where they want it. Again, everybody's different. So as we sit down, we put our heads together. If you stump me, well, I can contact the attorney and say, hey, what's the best way for this, that, the other? And he will coach me to coach you. And the beauty of it is, he doesn't charge me, I don't charge you. It doesn't cost anything to know how to structure things properly. That's, our goal is to help you, relax and know that everything's going to be okay in throughout your retirement. We don't want you worrying about the money.
And that's exactly the kind of conversation that we can have with you in person. If you want to, you can call the phone number here and set up a time, 833-856-1382. You can also go to the website if you are driving around right now doing your errands and you don't want to pick up the phone. You can go to Soutas.com, Soutas.com, and click on your free portfolio review right there, and you can have this estate planning conversation. Dale, how do estate planning attorneys themselves feel about you meddling in their field? Do they like that you're trying to help people out, or would they prefer you say, leave the estate planning to people who are actually attorneys?
Well, number one, we're not meddling in it. We're just coaching people. I mean, and the attorneys, particularly that we've used through the years, one in particular, he'll call me at times and say, so what is it that you really want me to do here? If the family's not clear on the instructions or whatever, they love it. They like knowing clearly what to do, because many times it's so different. Everybody's, again, there's more blended families out there and things like that, and there might be families that have children with special needs. So, what if you pass away and you haven't made a special needs provision in your trust, and that child inherits this chunk of money? It'll kick them off that program that's helping them, that's paying for their medical, that's, helping provide for them. So there's ways to do all that. You don't want to go in blindly to see the attorney. It's good to have some basic coaching and know how to get things set up correctly. That would be a big part of it. There's other things to it besides just setting up your trust. What if, here's a good one. What if you have a blended family? You have to understand too, maybe you have assets that you really want to go separately, but you set everything up in one trust. Understand that if, let's say, the husband dies, the wife is still in full control of that trust, because if you two are the trustees, you're still in full control. The wealth or the surviving spouse is still in control, and she, in this example, could change what it says to have everything just go to her children and delete what's the right word, disinherit.
There you go. Yeah.
The other. Yeah. So there's more to it than just going and I'm going to set up a trust. Know how to do it that works for your goals, your family dynamic.
And if you have an estate planning attorney, we are welcome to work with them. It could be a very, very good idea for you to come in and sit down with your financial advisor group first to figure out exactly what you're trying to do, exactly what you're trying to protect. For the couple who came in and were asking us the questions that we were talking about 15 minutes ago, it was an interesting perspective. Some people feel badly or like, we should know this stuff. Don't feel bad at all. We love the questions. Dale loves the questions. Katia, Jorge, we're here to help you. So don't feel bad about what you don't know. The only thing you should feel bad about is not reaching out to a resource that is right here for you. Call the phone number. We'll have this family planning discussion about all of your finances, all of your assets and tools with you at no cost to you. 833-856-1382 is the phone number. Call it, set up your time, sit down with Dale and the team. No obligation to you. More Retire Your Way after these bottom of the hour messages.
Are Are you worried that you waited too late to start your retirement planning? That you waited too late to start saving? At Soutas Financial, we believe it's never too late to start planning for your future. We can help you develop a personalized retirement plan that is tailored to your current needs and goals. The team at Soutas Financial will sit down with you and provide an evaluation of your current path, including your investment strategy, tax planning, and risk management approach. We'll help you identify potential areas for improvement and work with you to create a retirement plan that is designed to help you work towards having financial security and peace of mind in retirement. It's not too late for you to get started with Soutas Financial. Call us today to schedule your complimentary retirement planning session. We believe we can help you get on the path to financial security and peace of mind in retirement. Call Dale Soutas and the team at Soutas Financial to get started on your own complimentary written financial plan. Call 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Inflation has risen to the highest level in over 40 years, according to the April 2022 U.S. Inflation Calculator. Will your investments provide you the income you need in retirement? Are you losing purchasing power of your savings to inflation? Simply stated, if the daily cost of goods and services is 8% higher and you are earning 4% in your investments, that money buys you less of what you need. Right now is the time to act to be certain you have an income strategy that overcomes the effects of inflation. Get your own complimentary retirement income review by calling Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial and retire your way. 833-856-1382. You might have the savings you need today to weather this storm, but how will inflation affect your nest egg 5, 10, or 15 years from now? Discover the peace of mind you deserve. Call and ask for your complimentary, no obligation, retirement income review from Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial. 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
This is Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial right here in California. The phone number for you to call for your absolutely free portfolio review, your time, your session with Dale and the team, your retirement readiness review, or your income plan review, or can you be and stay retired review, whatever you want to think of it as. It is no cost to you. You just have to reach out to the phone number and schedule your time, 833-856-1382. Dale, here's a big open question for you. So we're going to talk about some retirement red flags over the next few weeks. We started with a couple last week. I like this question. What's an expensive mistake you see people make in the first year of their retirement? Is there anyone that comes to mind? Anyone that comes to mind? How about, or you know what, that could
yeah,
be, is
or
that,
getting
is that
ready
too,
for,
is
yeah.
that too big of a field?
Yeah.
How about that? Okay.
Nope.
Oh, you got
no,
one?
it isn't. It just, there's so many interesting things. People think, it's like working on your home, the DIY, right? Do it yourself.
Yeah.
I'll just Google all these questions. And it's funny because, I don't know. There's so much goofy information
Too expensive.
out there.
Okay, I tell you what, I've got.
Yeah, but like a common thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, people think, I got to start Social Security because it might not be here down the road. They're starting it early.
Gotcha.
I've seen even ones where they start it at 62. And they're still working, and they don't realize that if they're making more than roughly $25,000, everything above that, for every $2 they make above that, they're losing one of their Social Security dollars back to Uncle Sam. Now, I had somebody not long ago that was making a decent wage, started her Social Security early, and found out that because of her wages, she was pretty much losing almost all her Social Security back to Uncle Sam. And because she had started it and didn't get advice in a timely manner, she had started Social Security and it was going for more than 12 months. She couldn't undo it. Now, if you make the mistake and you start Social Security, or you started Social Security and you're thinking, ooh, should I have? Don't feel bad. Just let us know. Let's put our heads together. Because if you started it early, before full retirement age, which means if you're born in 1960 or after, full retirement age is 67. And if you've started it before that, you're still working, you're still making money, that could create a problem with your Social Security. But if you've started it and you're not sure, should I keep it going? Let's put our heads together, because during the first 12 months, you can stop it. You'll have to pay it back, but you're fixing the problem before it's a permanent problem. So, or at least until you turn 67 in this example. But so starting Social Security too soon is sometimes
expense mistake, because it's not one you can really make up. As you said, if you do want to try to redo it, the only way that I know of, I don't know, maybe there's another one out there. If you work at Social Security and there's another one, let us know. You have to do it within the first 12 months, meaning you'd have to stop and say, oh, I don't want my Social Security. And you have to, as you just said, pay everything back. So,
well, yeah, you would in that example. But what about ones who started early? Maybe you even started at full retirement age at 67, but it would have made more sense to delay it to 70, because between 67 and 70, there's a 24% increase in what you'll get. And people think, oh, yeah, but all that money I get in that 3 years, yeah, do the math. People are living longer. The other thing I look at is, if the husband delays his because his is higher, and he delays his till 70, down the road when his wife knocks him, if he dies, she will get that higher Social Security. So it can really help for the long haul. And I don't think people realize that when you put the math to the numbers, even if you only, live to 85, 90, respectively, the husband 85, the wife till 90, if you do the math, the extra you get out of Social Security by, starting it properly at either full retirement age or delayed to 70, it could mean hundreds of thousands of dollars more that you get out of Social Security throughout retirement. So we highlight those numbers in one of our series at the Fresno State Retire Your Way workshops. So we go into details about Social Security regularly on that one, and we do those workshops monthly on different subjects. Now, so people can pick on us there in person.
You hear that word a lot. You hear workshops. You hear, we're going to be doing this stuff monthly. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of his live events. Take advantage of the fact that Dale holds these educational events. First of all, this is something we talked about a couple of years ago on the radio program, and it's still true to this day. It's called Peak 65. There are more people turning 65 in America. There's about a 10-year window as the baby boomers are turning 65, and we're kind of on the middle backside of it now. Through I believe it's 2028, more people turning 65, about 11,000 people a day turning 65 in America. We have more people turning this age. So Dale is doing live educational events, not only to help you understand these things a little bit longer form than we can go to on the radio, but then you can ask the questions. You can meet Dale and his team there. Holds them at Fresno State, does them usually the beginning of the month. You can go to the website. We're posting up our live events there when the next one is. So go to Soutas.com, Soutas.com. That's Soutas.com, and go to the events tab and find out when the next one is. Register. Bring your spouse. Bring your kids, bring the whole block, bring everybody, so you guys can all talk about it at the next barbecue. It's great that you do these things, and don't feel bad about what you don't know, but coming and asking the questions. When should I take my Social Security? Everybody, don't let Google or ChatGPT be your financial advisor. How about you speak with a real one?
Yeah. A real Google.
Yeah, a real Google.
No, but yeah, because sometimes people will hesitate they don't want to just come and set a time to come into the office. But what we do at the workshops is we give a good overview of a variety of topics. We can't necessarily ask your very specific question because you raise this question and say, hey, Dale, what about blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. I'm probably going to have to ask you a dozen more questions to really understand your situation financially before I can give you a specific answer that fits you. And you're probably not going to want to give me all those details in front of everybody else. But you can at least, see in person what we're like, see the team, meet us. Sorry, we're not gonna give you dinner, but we do have snacks and water and stuff like that. No beer and whiskey, but that's okay too.
It's at a university, but you can all bring your coffee and your tea and stuff like that. I understand what you're saying, but what Dale is alluding to is, so we say this a lot. So at the beginning of the presentation, like, hey, we know that you're going to have questions. Write them all down. Let me crash through all of the material, and then we'll go around. But to be able to really answer somebody's question, you might come in and say, all right, well, I'm 62. I don't like working where I'm at. What do you think about me taking my Social Security early? Well, okay, there's a lot of factors that go into that. So, are you married? Are you divorced? Are you have kids? How's your health? What's your longevity? These are the things that Dale are saying that you
What's your savings?
What's your savings?
What do we have? What is your spending habits? You know, what do you want, or what do you need to pay the bills? What do you want to do in retirement? Why is that still the hardest question for people? What is it you really want to do? If you're retired, you have more time, your health is good, you got all the money in the world. What would you be doing or doing more of? What are the fun things that gets you going? It gets you excited. What do you want to do when you retire? I don't know why that's so hard at times. I mean, I have a lot of hobbies and interests and stuff like that, but and it's okay. People don't have to have the same interests as but I do want to know particularly what you want to do in retirement, because that's going to determine, yes, start Social Security early, or no, you might want to delay, and you might want to set up things differently to keep your money going, growing, maybe produce more income, whatever. There's a lot that goes into some of those questions, but understand the basics, get the good overall view, and see what we're really like in person before setting your own, personal appointment by attending one of the events. It's easy, but you need to register, because we're not using a gigantic room at Fresno State. We can hold just under 50 people, and
but that makes for a good community setting. 40, 50 people in there. You get to ask your questions. You can schedule a time, but everybody's going to have, even with 50 people in the room, there could be 50 different answers to when is the best time to take your Social Security. So to find out the specific answer for you, schedule a time. Come on in and talk with Dale. 833-856-1382 is the phone number. We'd be glad to talk to you, and we'd be glad to help you with your Social Security income planning for retirement at no cost to you. More Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas when we get back, and retirement red flags. What's some expensive mistakes that you make at the beginning of retirement? When we get back right after this.
Will you outlive your money? It's a scary thought, but it's a real concern for many people. In our opinion, that's why it's crucial to have a solid retirement plan in place. We believe that with proper planning, you can work towards making your money last as long as you do. Don't wait until it's too late to start thinking about your financial future. Call Dale Soutas and the team at Soutas Financial today to learn how we can help you create a retirement plan that can potentially help you obtain peace of mind and security for years to come. Don't let the fear of running out of money in retirement keep you up at night. Take control of your financial future today. Start your Retire Your Way review and financial plan by calling 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
As a valued radio listener of Retire Your Way, Dale Soutas and the entire team of retirement professionals at Soutas Financial invite you to schedule your very own complimentary retirement planning session. If you don't have a retirement strategy mapped out that includes low-fee investment elections, tax minimization strategies, decumulation plans from your savings that will last as long as you need them to, then call for your own retirement planning session, complimentary for our valued radio listeners. 833-856-1382. Are you able to lower your taxes in retirement? Are you unclear about your Social Security and risks, or how to produce ongoing income that lasts your entire retirement? Then call Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial to schedule your own comprehensive retirement planning session. No cost to our valued radio listeners. 833-856-1382.
Welcome back to Retire Your Way with financial advisor Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial. Interesting conversation we were having in the commercial break there. We might get to it, but we were also talking about expensive mistakes people make right at the beginning of their retirement. What about not being debt-free? Is that a big mistake to you, Dale?
Or focused on being debt-free before they retire.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, what about sometimes people are I've got to have the mortgage paid off. I got to have all this paid off before I could retire. Well, maybe so, but many people that we've helped through the years might still have a mortgage. They might even still have a car loan or a little bit of credit card debt or whatever, but they retire. We build into your income plan not just a paycheck to pay your ongoing bills from now till your spouse's age, your wife's age 100, but we can build in the play check, the care check, but we can also separate out the mortgage balance as a goal, okay? Or we can have other debt separated out because those aren't going to go on indefinitely. And what if you're in that position where you could easily have things structured to where you're paying off the debt even though you're retired, and then obviously once the debt's paid off, that just gives you more spending money. So sometimes people have the thing. I had somebody recently come in, and he's recently retired. He's got a good 401k built up, and but he still owes, on a mortgage. He still has something else. Maybe it's home equity or some other debt. Plus, he's thinking, I want to put solar on my home. He's spending way too much on electricity. And I agreed. Yeah, it would be smart to use solar. It would definitely pay off. But that's expensive, right? So he was saying, I'm going to just take, out of my 401k to pay off the big chunk of mortgage, and I'm going to use another chunk to buy that solar and upgrade a car, whatever. And I kind of like, what? If you do that, Uncle Sam is getting a major chunk of tax out of it. You're pushing your income way high. You're pushing into a couple more tax brackets than you have to. On top of that, he would affect his IRMA, and that's not a girlfriend. IRMA is that
an old-fashioned name, IRMA. Boy, I can't wait to date an IRMA.
Yeah, but pushes he and his wife's income so high that instead of the normal, Medicare Part B, $202 roughly a month. Cost plus your Part D premium of whatever it is, it would push it up to where that could be $400 or $500 a month each instead of, 200-ish a month. So there's all kinds of things to look at. And so I was looking at, for him, I said, you could still, you have the mortgage paying. You've been paying it already. Your income is okay. Here's, we put together a plan to how you can retire. Plus, the other problem, if you take all that money out of your retirement account, your retirement savings, he didn't have much elsewhere saved, just to grab. So that would eliminate pretty much all of his nest egg. And maybe he has no debt, but he has nothing to reach into and grab for future years to do extras if something comes up with the house or whatever. So we developed a good plan to where here's your income. You'll be able to have a decent income. You could pay down your debt in a faster pace, even if you got a loan on the solar. Within less than 10 years, you have no debt, and now you have better income. You could do more throughout retirement, including if one or both of you need care. We've got that dialed in to your plan. You're going to stay out of a nursing home, and in other words, cover all the bases. It's just now. I often tell people this is what we specialize in. Yes, don't ask me to do the things that you were doing in your career or still doing. I'd probably mess it up in a heartbeat. So we like to look at things. Once I get to know people, I just look at them. If I am you, knowing what I know, what would I do? And if it's the same thing, if, many times, sometimes it is, I say, yes, I like what you're thinking. Do that. You'll be okay. But in this example of, I'm going to take almost all of my 401k and pay off the house and pay this off and that off. It was like, no, that's, you're not seeing the tax side. You're not seeing the longevity of having money to use down the road, all kinds of things.
Well, it's also cash flow, but as you were just saying, I'm going to take this big chunk here and pay off the house. I'm going to be debt free. Well, I mean, if the house payment, relatively speaking, besides taxes, is set, you can create a fund that I was going to use. So I don't want to give a suggestion here. I was looking at income funds this morning. I don't know. It was this article that came up, and I was doing comparisons. And I'm not saying that's a suggestion. And Dale Soutas is the financial advisor. But you could have it growing in. You could have your monies growing in something where you're paying off, what is remaining of the mortgage. It doesn't have to be as risked shown to the markets as the rest of your investments. You could have it be more conservative. I don't care. You peel it off onto the side and go to this.
Yeah.
But that's your cash flow. So why be in a hurry to dump it in the house just to call yourself tax-free?
The main point I'm getting at here is you don't have to necessarily be debt-free to retire. You don't have to have the mortgage paid off to retire. It's something you got to pay on. And if you looked at the payment, let's say your payment's $2,000 a month, maybe $1,000 of it is principal interest. If your house is paid off, you're only saving about $1,000 in that example, right? Because you still have to pay your home insurance and property taxes. So, but again, do you have to be debt-free to retire? Not necessarily. So if you want to see, hey, especially what I love is when people come in, they would really like to retire, but they think they can't because of this reason, that reason, or something. And when I show them, no, you can retire sooner than later. And it's, that's one of the joys of what we do. That's one of the satisfying things that we do when people, oh, wow, I didn't know I could. And then they are retired and they're happy, and we get to review, regularly with them and, hey, how you doing? And find out all the fun things they're doing. So that's part of the fun of this job that I have, this career that I've chosen.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to give you one last perspective. We received a great question at the end of one of the events. Why does it seem like financial advisors dislike annuities? And so first of all, it's a tool, and we don't like or dislike. There are certain ones that can be more expensive. There are certain ones that are ineffective. There are certain ones that we don't think are appropriate for somebody to use. And there are other ones that Dale might use. So we're going to have a further discussion on that later, but maybe just real quick on this one. The beautiful couple, and I said, did you guys want to schedule your time right now? As most people do. They come to the event, they want to schedule a time. And he said, you know what? I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed because I don't know how to show somebody all of the things that I didn't know. And I totally forgotten about this perspective that some people don't want to come in. It's like going to the dentist and you're worried, oh my gosh, they're going to see how much I forgot to floss.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Are you there to judge what are some really, really hardworking people, people who have worked careers? As you said, you don't know how to do their career, but in doing your career, do you look at them and go, how do you not know this?
No. I don't expect people to understand the ins and outs of what we do and the various tools. Some people, their hobby is studying the stock market. So they, I won't even encourage them to move money off of what they're doing because that's something they do. They look at it all the time. Many people, they don't want to stare at the stock market. They don't want to try to figure out, well, how do I make sure my money will last? They just want to know it will last. And I'm going to show them, ways to do that. And no, we're not. It's painless. We're not going to. It's not like going to the dentist and getting a filling. They're not. We're not drilling on you. It's just a discussion. People come in, and I think they're surprised that they just. We just talk about, like I said, it's what do you want your retirement to be like? And many of you listening may already be retired. Well, are you at all concerned about your income and or money lasting? Well, we don't want you focused on that. The little plaque on my desk says, not to spoil the ending for you, but everything will be okay. How can we help you have that feeling throughout retirement? That's my goal. That's what we work for, to help people, know that they can focus on more important things, family, the fun things they want to do, and not be worried about money. So, it's easy. It's sit down, relax, have a cup of coffee, cup of water, whatever. We got snacks. It's a real nice environment, and nicer here.
Yeah, and the new office.
Our new office.
The new office. Yeah, the new office moved into 2-3 months ago. Still in the very, very same location, right down the street. In fact, you have the the same building owner. You're just in a bigger space, a little bit down the street. Folks, you don't need to feel bad about what you don't know or what you didn't know about financial planning, about investments, about insurance, about annuities, about estate planning, about tax strategies. What you can do is call the phone number, set up a time. Don't feel embarrassed or feel like somebody's going to take a look at what you've done and go, man, are these people behind? That is not what Dale and the team do. As your financial advisor, he's here to take you from where you're at right now to get you through the next 10, 20, or 30 years. Call the phone number, set up your time for your free portfolio review, your retirement readiness review, 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382. Or if you want to, because that's going to be all the time we have for today's show, you can remember the website and schedule your own time there. Go to Soutas.com, Soutas.com for Dale Soutas. I am Spike Spangle for Dale. He and I will both be back again. Have a great week, folks.
Comments regarding a particular client's experiences and outcomes may or may not be the same as another client's experience and could differ substantially, and is not an indication that any client or prospective client will experience the same or a higher level of future success or performance. This is not endorsed or affiliated with the Social Security Administration or any U.S. government agency.
Investment advisory services are offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, Foundations, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The content provided is intended for informational and educational purposes only. The views, statements, and opinions expressed herein are those of the individual speakers and not necessarily those of Foundations and its affiliates. The information contained herein does not constitute an offer to sell any securities or represent an express or implied opinion or endorsement of any specific investment opportunity, offering, or issuer. Any discussion of performance or returns is not indicative of future results. Any discussions of specific strategies are for informational purposes only and have been provided to help determine whether they may be appropriate for your specific situation. If applicable, the primary goal is converting retirement assets into a Roth IRA is to reduce the future tax liability on the distributions you take in retirement or on the distributions of your beneficiaries. Each individual investor's situation is different, and any ideas provided may not be appropriate for your particular circumstances. Comments regarding a particular client's experience may or may not be the same as another client's experience and is not an indication that any client or prospective client will experience the same or a higher level of future success or performance. Foundations only transacts business in those jurisdictions where it's properly registered or is excluded or exempted from registration requirements. Registration as an investment advisor is not an endorsement of the firm by securities regulators and does not mean the advisor has achieved a specific level of skill or ability. Nothing herein constitutes a recommendation that any security, portfolio, or securities or investment strategy is suitable for any specific person. No legal or tax advice is provided. Please review your retirement, tax, and estate legacy planning strategies with a legal tax professional before transacting or implementing any strategies discussed herein. Any comments regarding safe and secure investments and guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products. They do not in any way refer to investment advisory products. Rates and guarantees provided by insurance products and annuities are subject to the financial strength of the issuing insurance company, not guaranteed by any bank or the FDIC. This is not endorsed or affiliated with the Social Security Administration, any federal Medicare program, nor any U.S. government agency. If applicable, we do not offer every plan available in your area, and contacting us at the phone numbers provided herein will direct you to a licensed insurance agent. Any information we provide is limited to those plans we do offer in your area. Please contact Medicare.gov or 1-800-MEDICARE to get information on all your options. All rights reserved.